Hey guys, it's Mathel here once again with the first update video of the league for Lake of Calandra League, and the starter I chose was Energy Blade Trickster using Helix and Spectral Throw. So I'll go over my experience real quick leveling this character and first, day experience or so, and as well as that talk a bit about the league mechanic and some balance issues, etc. So just to start off on a pretty positive note, Energy Blade Trickster, actually very surprisingly good to start with and go through the campaign on. One of the new uniques that came out this league, Ghost Wraith I think it's called, a very low level chest armor that is pretty damn common, I bought for 1C, lets you get a lot of energy shield early on, so I picked one up at like level 30 or something and transitioned into Energy Blade immediately. At that point I already had like 1,000 energy shield, maybe even more. It gives you like 200 flat energy shield and then also converts half of your life into ES, and that enables Energy Blade very quickly. There's also Crown of Thorns, there's some other uniques, and just in general plenty of stuff you can pick up that gives you lots of energy shield. And throughout the campaign I had like 2,000 to 3,000 almost at all times, and bear in mind Energy Blade is cutting your energy shield in half. So it was a very smooth process going through it. I used Helix most of the time. This is a test on Spectral Throw just before I'm entering maps. Spectral Throw is still pretty good, but it does need more gear to be really, or you need a lot more fine-tuned character for Spectral Throw to feel better. You need the attack speed, the crit, the damage, etc. And even then, I'm not too sure it's going to work out as nice as a Deadeye ever does, because I think Deadeye's Far Shot is, and Mark synergy with Sniper's Mark, is a large part of why it feels super good as Spectral Throw. So this might be more of a Trickster Helix character full-time, and probably just kind of low to mid-tier maps before I maybe move on. So it got me through the campaigns pretty quickly. It established my build, my mapping strategy and all that nicely. And what else can I say? The new Trickster is pretty nice. The ascendancy points are all fairly good. I went Polymath first. I've got a lot of energy shield on kill. A lot of my gear is still pretty trash and scuffed, and I've basically had 20 to 50-ish all resists the entire time I've mapped. I went from level 70 to like 83 or something in white maps with very bad resists, and the Trickster on kill shit is just so busted it keeps me alive all of the time. So Trickster Helix, very cheap to start with some good uniques and all that. It gets pretty damn nice early on and then into maps as well. I went with a one hand and shield most of the time, and then I decided it was going to be very efficient to start going two-handers, because you can pick up a 6-link two-hander, and then Energy Blade will turn your weapon into an Energy Blade, which kills off any stats on your weapon, but it remains as a 6-link still. So picking up a 6-link for 4 chaos and then still being able to use the current chest I'm using, that Ghost Wraith, is just kind of a no-brainer. So we went into two-hand Energy Blade, which has a lot more damage, 70% more, and then it's also a 6-link, and that let me start to really crush white tier maps pretty comfortably. The issue is that there is a pretty sizable jump in difficulty once you start mapping, and that is largely because of Archnemesis, I think. So at this point of the character, you can see that I'm pretty comfortable on white maps, and I'm happy with how it's going. It was a bit of a slog in early white maps when I first transitioned to the maps, because Archnemesis does kind of fuck shit up. This is an example of a Harvest Clear. Once again, it's fairly thick, fairly difficult, and that is Archnemesis based. And on the topic of Harvest real quick, it is kind of a very former shell of itself. I think it's still not too bad if you actually focus on it and use it for the right things, but a lot of the crafts look like they're too expensive. The juice you get just isn't enough, and it's really not going to be very fun to use, I think, even crafting in the right way. So yes, I can understand people complaining and not liking how it went down. I could expect maybe some numbers being tweaked on the juice or the requirements, But who knows? We'll see. Obviously, yes, it's a lot worse than it used to be, and doesn't feel particularly fun to engage with. Well, back to the topic of the balance. So Archnemesis is kinda cancer right now, I think, anyway. By the end of last league, I think we had a pretty decent balance of Archnemesis. Like, you know, it wasn't too hard in maps, and most things got adjusted well enough. Here's an example of something that's particularly cancer. This is where my character is already feeling pretty good, and I was just steamrolling most things. Archnemesis combined with Essence seems to be pretty freaking OP at the moment, as well as combined with some other things like Bestiary, maybe in some Delve and all that. And if you just get the wrong rolls, then you are kind of fucked. So in this exact same map, I just then took like, I don't know, 30 seconds to kill that thing. The boss of the map feels something like this. Now, I just kind of feel like there's some sort of imbalance there as to what a boss should feel like and what a rare should feel like, etc. Lake of Calandra has been pretty good as well. Just a quick example of what you can do. You can get to 11, 12 stacks of difficulty, basically how far away you are from the entrance, and then things get substantially harder and hopefully more rewarding. Picked up some shrines so that I could do the highest difficulty thing with just a bunch of essences on there. But Archnemesis, basically, it was okay during the campaign. I didn't really feel it too bad at all. Once you get into maps, it gets a lot worse. Through the campaign, you get 1 or 2 mods on res at all times, and the 1 mod res, you know, not too bad. Once you get into maps, they're always going to be 2 mod, and then you'll encounter 3 or 4 mods. And essentially, the issue is some of these mods are still just so fucking stupid, and when they combine in the wrong way, and they're going to combine in the wrong way many times since you come across many rares and there's so many opportunities for more combines, it just fucks your character. So if we're looking at my character in particular, it's like ranged and lightning damage projectiles. I can see like 9 different modifiers that cut my, or are designed to cut my damage in half. Combine any 2 of those and it makes for a really long fight. Combine any 3 of those and it's basically an uber boss that I have to go through. My character has 1,000,000 DPS. I had to get up to about 1,000,000 DPS by tier 4 maps to start feeling good. That's kind of silly, and yeah, they kind of just walked back on the Archnemesis balance, I feel, for last league, which kind of got there. I still would have liked to see a few tweaks to some of the mods, but it kind of got there, and now it kind of feels almost like early game last league again, where it's pretty damn punishing. If you're not going to have a nice build or nice feeling thing, you're just going to not have a good time, basically. If you're playing a very meta build, yeah, maybe you'll ramp into it, and yeah, maybe there won't be too much that gets in your way, but it shouldn't really be like that, and people shouldn't really have to wait until they're a very good character before they can start having fun on the first few days of League, or have to play one of the most meta builds out there. So just a couple of cents there, and I have no doubt that with the backlash that's been happening, that there's going to be some tweaks in the next couple of days. So I'd say hang tight, you know, if you're thinking of bailing out, because I do expect that there's going to be something changed. It's in its current form. Once again, like the early last league, not particularly enjoyable to interact with. So with all that, let me just jump into my character, show you how I built it, and the progress of going through the campaign. So here's my character at the moment, level 83. At least the skill looks cool. I was fully expecting Energy Blade to not do too much as Spectral Helix, and it's not going to do much more. Like I said, I'm going to get it up to about 1.5 million DPS, and for Spectral Helix with a thick enough character, that'll probably take you to like red tier maps maybe, and maybe some bosses. I don't know. We'll see how we go. But it's gone very well through the campaign, and it went very well through early maps. But Archnemesis happened, and it is pretty tough. And I do think a lot of the Archnemesis disparity and people complaining about it is going to be based off of like what build you play, because I do think there's going to be, like I said, my build, for example, has a lot of Archnemesis that kind of counter its damage, and then there's going to be some builds, particularly like an Inquisitor with ignore resists, they don't have too many problems. And if you're like a non-projectile based like spell inquisitor, there really aren't many things that are going to stand in your way. So anyway, enough about Archnemesis rant. We kind of all, don't like it too much, but at least the reward structure I think is better this time around. So like I said, currently I am running a 6-link, so I was just running a crap shield with a weapon, something like this, with any weapon, and your weapon doesn't matter, your stats don't matter for Energy Blade at all. This is what I'm just picked up for 4 Chaos, and then once you turn Energy Blade on, turns it into an Energy Blade, but it keeps the links, so we do have a 6-link here. And if you're two-handing, I think it's right there, if you're two-handing, then you get 70% more lightning damage, so it's quite a substantial buff over the one-hand shield playstyle, but you don't have whirling blades, you don't have shield charge, you're missing stats from a shield, so it should be quite a bit more damage in the end. But it's if it's a really well rolled shield and finely tuned character, it won't be that much more damage. But while I don't have that much energy shield and I'm relying heavily on Ghost Wrath still, it is going to be substantially more. So you pick one of these up for 1 Chaos very early game, and it'll carry you all the way through. Maybe even forever. It might be best in slot chest forever on my character. It might be best in slot chest on a lot of energy shield based characters, because building with the life converted to ES is quite powerful. Right now you might be able to see, let's have a look, exactly how much ES it's giving me. So if we turn off my Energy Blade, I currently have 6,000. It's giving me 3,500 almost. Which is pretty crazy. If I put on a really big chest, one that utilizes Escape Artist, it'll still be about 1,000 less ES at the moment, but that chest will probably give me, well, half my life back, but as well as that, it'll give a bunch of evasion and all that sort of shit. Either way, very easy to get one of these and just make Energy Blade absolute cruise control all the way through the campaign. And my 4-link, I think, while I was leveling, was Faster Proj, Spectral Helix, Energy Leech, and then either Faster Attacks or Lightning Pen, something like that. Lightning Pen starts to come in pretty clutch when a lot of Archnemesis mods have lots of resists. So you do need to fix that shit pretty quick. Gonna need the resist there, probably gonna need Helm Enchant, probably gonna need lightning exposure on gloves pretty soon. Otherwise, what else we got? Picked up Syntrax. They're really good when you have the mastery for Energy Shield on boot. So they become like a 300 ES boot or some shit. Pretty damn powerful. Just a regular crystal belt, but we did pick up one of these while leveling as well for like 1 or 2 chaos. So pretty powerful stuff while leveling. And then just ran these the entire time so far, because 30 attack speed on full life is good, but definitely need to replace those right now. And then some energy shield on a hat. Picked one of these up for 2 chaos, so there's going to be a lot of very good mirrored jewelry out there for very cheap. Because if you're looking at the really good stuff that's fairly, finely tuned, very well rolled, it's going to start to get expensive. But stuff that's like missing stats or slight negatives here or there, cheap as fuck. This was picked up on day 1 for 2 chaos, just a bunch of life, bunch of crit multi. We'll try and get through with another amulet sometime soon, because I do kind of want my Chaos Rose back and I need some other stats. Otherwise, just want some strength and resist on a ring here. And then picking up Shavron's ring, that was the biggest investment I put in so far, 25 chaos. Basically, the entire character in total is like 40 chaos. This thing was 25 chaos. Once I put it on, lots of energy shield. It regen my mana, so then I can actually sustain mana even without using Leech. And it also means you cannot recharge or regenerate energy shield. So by the time you actually get this thing on, you need to be utilizing Polymath for on-kill energy shield, so that's a lot of your sustain. You need to have Energy Leech, you need to have Ghost Dance, and probably Ghost Reaver with some Energy Leech. By the time you get Soul Drinker, then everything becomes really comfortable and you can start running Blood Rage and getting a lot more charges and all that. My first 2 Ascendancy points were this, then I went into One Step Ahead, then Escape Artist, then Soul Drinker. I still might trade in One Step Ahead for Swift Killer, because another 2 Frenzies is the same amount of damage, but overall less utility than what this thing encompasses. but it then has the charge duration, which will sustain my charges much nicer between packs, and as well as that, it might help me sustain power and endurance charges. When I was leveling, I just went through here, grabbed this, went this way, and then just went straight down, grabbed this here, needed the penetration, grabbed this, needed that penetration, and then started to fill out a bit of life, since you do want some life while wearing this thing early on. And then we started just going as the starter passive tree has dictated. Gonna grab this soon, I think, and then start self-casting conductivity on things, but that's pretty much all there is to it. Like, it is the character that I put out in the starter video, been following it almost exactly 1-for-1. Only difference is I'm now two-hand energy blading because it seems so much more worthwhile. Got a cool new MTX on it from mystery boxes, and yeah, don't know if there's anything else to actually properly mention. So, like I said, it's going to be a bit of a starter. It will most likely take me to around yellow to red maps. I don't really expect it to be too much bigger than that. If you're looking for something more potent overall, probably keep looking. This will just get you through campaign nicely, get you started in maps, and be, I think, pretty fun with the Helix playstyle. Maybe I'll try out some more Spectral Throw as well. But that's about it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you've tried to enjoy your league start despite some of the issues that have been going around. I think it's still been very fun, but it is disappointing to see that Archnemesis feels a bit like the problems it had last time around. Otherwise, still has been very fun. I've enjoyed the league mechanic. It hasn't been super rewarding, but I haven't felt bad doing it. Like, there have been rewards, and it hasn't felt like a waste of time for me. But I imagine that's going to get buffed too with the amount of outrage going on about that. So hang tight. They'll probably give us some buffs. It's unfortunate this stuff has to keep happening, but still pretty fun. Thank you for watching, and see you guys next time.